In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this great little frame for Valentine's Day. I'm showing you not only this farmhouse version, but the glam version too. So if you want to see how I did it, well then follow me and I'll show you. What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter. Tonight's craft is my one and only probably Valentine's craft. Unfortunately, I'm packing for a trip, getting ready. I'm leaving tomorrow for Greece for a buying trip for my other business. But I really wanted to at least get in one Valentine's craft for you while I could. So I've got the glam version and the farmhouse version of a really cute little frame with a borax heart. I don't know if you guys have boraxed before, but I hadn't, and we will, and you then will have, and yes, all right. Anyway, before we get to it, if you do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button on either side here, because I can never remember which side it's on. And when you hit the bell next to it, it will inform you every time I upload a new video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you like my channel, if you like what you're seeing. I love hearing from you also, so please leave me a comment below. And don't forget to check down below in the notes because it does tell you everything you'll need for the projects and other little goodies, how to get in contact with me in case you'd like to. So I think now, before Valentine's Day actually gets here, we should get to this project. So let's do it. Very first thing we're going to do for this project is make our shapes out of the pipe cleaners. So I'm going to be making a heart, and I'm going to start here at the bottom and do my curve shape around. You can do it however you want. I kind of want the bottom to be the part that has the, what do you call it, where it connects. So just form your shape. I'm going to try a couple different sizes of hearts, just wrapping around. This is pretty easy, and if you like tall skinny hearts or little short fat hearts, you make it whatever shape you like. And that's probably the hardest part of this project, is making these hearts. All right, let's get to the next step. So the next step, this is a 4-cup measuring cup that I have. I bought it from IKEA in case anybody's interested. I really love it. And I'm going to be putting in, I've measured out, as you can see, overflowing 2 1/3 cups, so 2/3 cups of borax. So this is something you can find really easily in the grocery store or all over the place. I thought it was going to be harder to find, but it's very readily available. So I have my 2/3 cups of borax poured in there, and I've boiled up some water. I'm going to fill up my measuring cup with plenty of water. I'm filling it to the 4-cup mark. Then I'm just going to use a spoon to dissolve all of the borax that's resting there in the bottom. Now, maybe my borax has been sitting around for quite a long time, a few years actually I've had it, so it's a little bit lumpy. I don't know if it's like that when you first buy it, but you can let me know if you don't already have some and you buy it. This is such a fun, easy project, and I know some of you probably did this in elementary school, but you know, I never did. So I was really excited to see this, how it works out. So I've got that one boiling and going, and what I did is I took my heart, tied a string and made a little loop here, and then I just hooked it on to the point of my heart. And I'm just going to immerse that completely into the water. And I don't want it touching the bottom or the sides. So I have it, I'm using a chopstick. You can use a knife, you can use whatever you want, a spoon, anything to put across the top of there, and immerse that just into the water. So that's what I got going. And I think I might actually do, there's plenty of room in there to do one of the smaller hearts and hang it in there as well. So I'm gonna do that. I still have a little more room, so I think I'm gonna put some other hearts in there as well, and then hang my little loopy doopy thingy wingy and put that in here as well. So as much as I can fit in there, and we'll see how they go. So you can see I've got them all in there separated. And that's what it looks like for now. It's fogging up my lens. Okay, I guess that means that we'll just have to wait. The hard part is we have to wait for this to completely cool down, and that will probably be either late tonight or early in the morning, and we will be able to see that the crystals will form on this. So here's our finished heart, and it's ready to be put into the frame and finish this project. So as usual, you know I like to give you options because I know I have my glam girls out there, and I also have my farmhouse style girls. So what I'm going to first do is show you the glam version because I'm going to use this same frame and I will be painting it for the farmhouse style. But for both styles, and while we're waiting, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 of these tumbling tower game blocks, because either way we're going to use that regardless whether it's going to be for a glam style or for the farmhouse style. So what I'm going to do with those is glue the ends together, 2 of them, just like that, with my hot glue, and I'm sure it's not going to take too much. You don't want it to ooze out between, and if it does ooze out, wipe it off because you don't want that to show. Okay, and so once you have your little pieces glued like that, you're going to then glue these together but offset them just by a little bit. So I'll put my glue on the one side here and attach those together. So we have this. And now we're going to paint this white. If you want to do it silver for your glam style, that would be fine too. I'm just going to go with white because I think it'll just break it up a little bit and give it a little bit different look. Okay, so I have all sides of this painted, except for the back. I don't need to paint the back, but all the sides are round. And while we're letting that dry, in the meantime, what I did was I went ahead and printed out on my computer, You Plus Me. So you can do the name of your significant other if you'd like, whatever you want. And I printed out 2 different styles, one that I'm going to use for my glam style and the other one that I'm going to use for my farmhouse. So what I'm going to be doing with this is actually I'm going to be tearing it because I want it to have a little bit of an unfinished edge. So just rip it a little bit around, kind of give it a little freer feel. So what I want to do around this edge, and this is completely optional, I'm actually going to, if you have a silver paint pen, you can use that, or if you have some even regular silver paint, you can use that. I right now don't know where any of that stuff is, so I'm just going to do a little bit of my spray paint and just spray a bit on there and use a Q-tip in it and use that just to kind of go around the edges on this to kind of help it to blend a little bit with my frame. So here's kind of what that looks like, just breaking it up a bit. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to be attaching this paper. You can use school glue, Mod Podge, whatever you want. I'm going to use my hot glue because I just have it next to me and it's going to be fast. So just putting some hot glue on there, not all the way down to the edges because I like it to have a little bit of a kind of a raised look on it. And just attach it on like that. Now I'm going to be taking my frame and gluing this on the corner on the diagonal. Just make sure that this bottom piece doesn't stick out past the bottom of your frame when you glue it down. The other thing we want to do, which we should have done while we were painting the other ones, take 2 more of your tumbling tower game, and we're going to be attaching those in the back of this frame so that we can use it to help this to stand up. So how we're going to do that We're going to pretend that these are spray painted silver to match the frame. We're going to put a little dot of glue and attach that right in there. And there you go. We have those glued onto the back side just like that. And that this way now we have something that helps our frame to be able to stand up. So I also didn't mention, you do want to pull these little tabs out of here. Now what we're going to be doing for this glam one, I'm going to be taking a piece of my red ribbon. Then we're going to be passing this through the heart and tying it in a nice little bow. You can make this as long or as short as you want it depending on the look that you like, and go ahead and tie your bow. In order to transform this into a farmhouse style, what we're going to do, I already have these two pieces glued on back here so that it will hold our frame standing. And what we're going to do is go ahead and paint this white as well as the little legs in the back. And if you have chalk paint, that would be ideal. It seems to dry a lot quicker and just kind of goes on nicer, and it holds up really well also. Now for this one, if you want, what I did on the glam one, I did the edges with a bit of silver paint. If you want to do that on this one, probably do it before you glue it down, but you can take like a Sharpie and kind of go around some of the edges and give it a little bit of that kind of weathered look. It's definitely much easier to do before you glue it down, so keep that in mind. So that's what I did with my Sharpie. You can do that, you can leave it not like that, it's up to you. Okay, there we go, glued on just like that. The bottom is not sticking out past the bottom of the frame. And the next thing we're gonna do is take some burlap ribbon. This is from Dollar Tree. So I have about an 8-inch piece, and what I'm gonna do is cut it down a bit so that I not only cut off the wire, but I'm making it a narrower piece. And I think it will look really cool even if we pull a couple of the little threads off on it, so it has a little bit of a kind of a tattered look to it. Would be really cool, given that it's farmhouse style. It's a little less tailored and a little more raggedy. Okay, so then we're going to take and pass that through the heart. Figure out which side you want to hang that on. I like this side better. And then with this burlap ribbon, what I'm going to do is actually just glue it onto the frame, and then I'm going to be adding a little bow after. I'm going to put my little glue dot down on my frame. Now we want to make a little bow for up here on the top. So what I'm going to do is take another piece of ribbon. This one's about 6 inches long, and what I'm going to do is form it into a little loop there and attach those ends together just with lightly using a little bit of hot glue. You don't need too much on there, just enough to hold this together. Okay, so we have this ring, and then flatten it out, and then we're going to pinch it together just like that, so that the two bottom ends come up and pinch right there into the center. And then we have some of our leftover piece that we cut off from from this piece. So what I'm going to do is have this pinched side be the back and that side be the front. So I'm going to start back here with my glue, and then I'll be wrapping it around to make that little center kind of knot type of thing. I'm going to add a little bit of glue also in where I've pinched it together so that it stays together. And cut off the excess here. Basically, I'm just wrapping this all the way around. I'm going to add a dab of glue on here and attach my little bow. And then we have our farmhouse style Valentine all ready to go. I'm going to be adding on some of this red ribbon, and it would definitely have been easier to do this before I attached this all together, but it was kind of an afterthought. So what I'm going to do is I have this piece of ribbon. I'm going to put it right here in the center of my burlap piece. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the end of this, and then I'll be tucking it in underneath my little bow there and attaching it right in the center of this burlap piece. And just put the tiniest bit of glue so that it doesn't show through your ribbon. I mean, just barely scraping the surface there of that just to get it to stay. But you really don't want it to show through your red ribbon. Go ahead and put the tiniest bit of glue also on the back of this burlap ribbon and attach my red ribbon to it. And here we have our farmhouse version, and I'm going to show you that all set up as well.